Welcome to our limited series podcast at POST-BOCS Swansea. My name's Reese and I'm the volunteer coordinator for the SAFE Foundation, and with me is Chair of Trustees known as Dicko. Hi Dicko.
Hi Reese.
In this series, our volunteers at the SAFE Foundation are going to be interviewing Dicko on Lucy's List, what it means to him and what it means to all of us.
Okay. So hey everyone, we have Dicko here. He's one of the chair trustees of the SAFE Foundation. He's here to tell us a bit about the organization and Lucy's List. So Dicko, do you mind telling a bit about the organization?
Yeah, the SAFE Foundation is a charity that was started 18 years ago now. And it was started by my two daughters, Hannah and Lucy. Lucy had a really bad volunteering trip to Uganda when she was about 17. And she came back completely disillusioned. And the main reason being that all the aid was given conditionally. You know, come to church and pray with us. We'll give you food, we'll give you education, whatever. She was horrified with that.
So it was not actually charity, was it?
No, I guess not. It's a moral trade. When she came back, she was, like I said, so disillusioned. And she decided to start her own charity. And, you know, being a dad, yeah, off you go, fill your boots. Never in the world expecting her to do it. But she was amazingly capable, as is her sister Hannah. And she did it. And she formed a charity called the Juniper Orphan Fund.
Juniper Orphans.
Juniper Orphan Fund. Stay with me. It's so relevant.
Yeah.
But at the moment, she was 17, 18 years old, trying to start a charity. She was also enrolled on an Open University course. She was playing in a band, so we were gigging a lot, and she was trying to earn a living in BT, I think it was. And she was getting amazingly stressed out. So one day I just sat her down and said, look, you don't have to do everything at the same time. You've got the basis for charity, put it aside, finish your university degree, carry on gigging, earn a living, and pick it up when you're ready. A few years later, she decided to pick the charity up again. Yeah. This became the SAFE Foundation. So the SAFE Foundation actually started around my dining room table with just a group of friends, you know. And, yes. You know, they were 14, 15-year-old kids who used to come to our house regularly. And all of a sudden, they're young adults talking about, let's send money to Cambodia. Let's supply teachers to Sierra Leone. And it grew and grew and grew. And then a few years later, they asked me to be chair of trustees. What were they thinking?
So I'm just curious, in such a young age, right? How are they able to raise funds for giving out to charities, like giving out to helping people? Like
they do all sorts. They'd organise gigs. We had an afternoon tea dance once. Well, all sorts. Anything. They would, let's do this. And we used to have a lot of charity balls. You dress up, dicky bow, tuxedo, and sell tickets, have fun. It was great. And it grew and grew and grew. And here we are today, 18 years later.
Do you mind telling us a bit more about Lucy's List? What is Lucy's List and why is Lucy's List?
Yeah, I will tell you. Not yes, I won't yet. We talked about this before. It's a really difficult thing for me to address, but I will do. Lucy was working in Zambia 12 years ago, and she'd secured a 6 months placement through the Welsh government to reorganise women's land rights in Zambia. It's like, that's my little girl doing that sort of stuff. And she died in a car crash. And it just tore me apart. It tore the family apart. It just destroyed a part of my life. Thankfully, most children outlive their parents. But to anybody who's gone through the loss of a child, it's a worst nightmare. Now, one of the hardest things I've ever had to do is give a eulogy at a funeral for my child. My wife had written something, my daughters had written something, and the night before the funeral, I still hadn't written anything. So I went upstairs in my bedroom, I took some paper and I sat down or lay down and tried to write, and I couldn't. So then it came to me that I'd think about how she used to live her life. And this is what I came up with, Lucy's list. 12 points of principles that she lived by. Some are quite obvious, some are a bit more convoluted. I know what you're thinking. And we'll talk about it later.
Yeah. We'll come to it.
Yeah, we'll come to it later. So I stood up at the funeral and I said a few words and I read out Lucy's list and I explained each one. Boom, and that's it. And that's Lucy's list. Whew.
Oh, that's too much. It's too hard, isn't it?
It is hard, but we're here now. We're here on a broadcasting to people about Lucy's list. We've got posters up. We've got T-shirts printed. If all of us can bring something positive out of something that was so devastating, so tragic, then yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that. If people talk about these, if people think about them, if people actually act them and then sort of make them part of their lives, then that's great. If even one person does that, then yeah, we're winning.
And you told there are 12 points in Lucy's list, so you wrote down all the 12 points, like how she lived
All
her
of them.
life, like
All
based
of
on
them. They're all
principles.
mine.
Yeah.
No,
So
it's
based on
mine.
her life, yeah. Is there any certain special occasion or like certain experiences which made her think about this and change her lifestyle?
I think she was a very honest and a very basic person. She had nothing when she died. She had books, a few books. She had a guitar. That's it. She had no money. She had very few clothes because she didn't need them. Yeah. The important thing to her was music and people, particularly helping people. Her friends and her family, they're hard to distinguish between friends and family.
I personally think earning people is more important than earning money. Like people are wealth.
Yeah,
like
absolutely,
people and books are wealth.
Yeah. I mean, you can surround yourself with money. What's it do for you? Nothing.
Nothing.
Buy something, great. What for you? But you can need people.
Yeah.
Us chatting here is more important than,
Us
millions of pounds.
going out making money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who cares about money? Me. Yeah. It's nothing. It's transient. It's shallow. But the people we meet and the people we spend time with, you enrich each other's lives.
So, what's the first point about Lucy's list? If
First
you
one,
think about it, do.
Yeah, I think people limit themselves. I think we talked before. We used an example of running a marathon. If I wanted, I'd love to run a marathon. Most people think about it, and that's as far as it goes.
As well.
Yeah, you carry on. I don't know. But you limit yourself, and you think about, I wish I'd have done that. I wish I'd have climbed that mountain. I wish I'd have made that decision. Don't think about it. Do it. And it doesn't matter if you succeed. The important thing is that you've tried. That's part of your journey. You've gone as far as you can. That's what else can we do? Some people will succeed. Some people will run the marathon. Some people will climb that mountain.
It's all up to their own personal beliefs.
Yeah, but don't be afraid of it, and don't overthink it. And she used to do that all the time. Yeah. Okay. She came to me one day and said, and she'd been a vegetarian for years, and she said, I'm going to go to Mongolia because I want to ride a yak.
That was so random.
I want to ride a yak. I want to go to Mongolia. Yeah. So, okay, fine enough. Well, yeah, okay. So a month later, she went for, I think, 6 weeks to Mongolia. Yeah. But the week before, funny enough, I said, you're a vegetarian, a vegan. You might have to eat some meat in Mongolia. some yak's eyeballs or whatever they eat. Said, oh, yeah, okay. So she did start eating meat, but yeah. But she did come back when she'd finished the trip. She went back to being a vegetarian.
Oh, but she just adapted to the environment and the situation.
Needs must.
Yeah.
But the point is that she didn't limit herself. She wanted to ride a yak in Mongolia, so that's what she did.
So did she actually get to ride a yak in Mongolia?
She did. Yeah. She was
Because
jackpot.
when you talk about this, like, do something without thinking, I remember something I read a very long time ago. The richest death you can have is a death without any regrets. And I don't know, it hit me very hard when I
Yeah.
read that.
I always think, is it better to regret something you've done or regret something you haven't done?
Regret
know which one for
something
me.
you haven't done.
Yeah, I'd say that.
You don't know if you regret something until you do it, or if you don't do it. Like,
Yeah.
you won't know the difference, right?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know the difference only if you do it.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Don't think about it, do it.
Yeah. Is there any similar kind of experience, like, you from your personal life, that you have done something which ended up to be like, wow, that's something.
Well,
Something like that.
Funnily enough,
Yeah.
since I crystallized these thoughts, don't think about it, do it. I decided consciously that if ever I had an idea for whatever, make something, do something, I'd always do it. I'd always at least try and take it as far as I could. If I didn't finish it, didn't matter. If I didn't succeed, didn't matter. But I've tried it. And so many people go through their lives not even trying.
I think people tend to think about, think a lot, overthink stuff, which
Now
is
you're getting it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Which is supposed to be a simple stuff,
Yeah.
when you overthink stuffs, you can't make a decision. Like, you can't come to a decision if you overthink
Yeah.
about stuff, right?
You're putting the problems you might not even face in front of you. Yeah, you're putting up your own barriers to knock down. But they're not there.
So you're just asking to just turn off your brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't think about it. Just do it.
Oh, that's really interesting coming from your point of view, because in my own personal life, right, when I wanted to leave my country and come here for masters, I didn't think, I just did it.
Yeah.
And look where I am right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
But how
really
many people
nice.
don't? So many people don't.
Yeah, I feel sorry for the people who don't
Yeah.
do it. Like,
Did you
people
buy
who
a
think-
T-shirt earlier before you left?
Yeah.
Should have.
I should have.
You should have.
Yeah, I should have. So coming to the next point, if you love someone, tell them. Yeah.
Absolutely. All
So
the time.
isn't it similar to the first point we were talking about? If you want to do something, just do it. Don't think about it.
I
Isn't
don't
it the
think. I
same
think
thing?
there's not so much now, and not even that long ago. But there seems to be a taboo against telling someone you love them. We don't just love someone in one way.
Yeah.
You love your family, you love your partner, you love your brothers, you love your friends.
There are different ways to love
Yeah.
people.
I love ice cream.
Yeah.
And I tell it every day. You should tell everybody. It makes you feel. How does it feel for you if someone said, "I love you"?
To be honest, I will not know how to respond to it. I'll just have a blank face and a blank expression, because personally, culturally, where I am from, right, as a man, you're not supposed to tell other people or something you love them, or you're not supposed to show emotions, because it supposedly means weakness, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I can see
Because
that.
stigmatically, I was raised, and I think in that kind of way. But when you say, if you love someone, tell them, don't overthink it. Now I feel I'm starting to think differently, and that's how I think everyone should start feeling, start thinking.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
I guess the taboos that you're talking about was the same in this country maybe 30 years ago, and 40 years ago, when I was growing up. I could imagine telling my mum and my dad that I loved them. I could never imagine telling my brother. He's just taking the piss and laughed at me.
Yeah.
And probably slapped me.
Yeah, obviously.
I could never go out and tell
Would
my
have
mates.
wrestled me.
Yeah. Is Kevin coming out to play football? I love him. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But today's different. We're more open. There's more communication. Society has changed completely.
And it doesn't have to be a person, right? It can be a thing, it can be food, like ice cream, like you said. It can be anything that you love, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
People are better because ice cream doesn't love you back.
That's the
Oh,
thing.
does
innit?
it?
For you to love something, it doesn't have to love you back.
No. No.
You don't expect
No.
something.
You
If you
need-
love something, you don't expect something back from it,
Yeah.
do you?
No.
Yeah.
You got to express yourself. Let it feel. Don't hold it in.
Yeah.
It's just bad. You imagine shaking a bottle of pop and all that fizz, and it's in there trapped. Take the top off. Let it go. Bang. Look at you thinking. No, it's a different world. I like it. Look, you're thinking now. You're going deep. change this man.
I think everyone who hears this podcast is going to start thinking, like, I think it's going to change their life in some way, affect their life in some way or other.
Well, that's the point.